What's going on, guys? Jake here from Popsicle Productions, bringing you a Warhammer 40k 2,000 points short form battle report. And today, I'm going to be taking my Tau Empire versus Sisters of Battle. So as you can see before you, this is just kind of like a introduction screen with some of my army in front of you guys, and this kind of relates to the quality of the video a little bit. First off, I'd like to apologize for my voice. Not that you guys have a benchmark for what I normally sound like, but I'm still kind of getting over a little bit of a cold. And yeah, so I did, however, have to miss a couple days of my responsibilities and sit in my room to get better. And during that time, I took advantage of the downtime to paint up these minis, which you see in front of you, the two devilfish and the two squads of Breacher, Fire Warrior Breachers, as well as some Vespid and the named Kroot character from Blackstone Fortress, which you'll see those at the end of the video, kind of as an outro screen. And they're all in my 2,000 point list today. I'd also like to apologize for the camera quality. This is my first battle report, as you can tell on the channel, so still kind of getting used to editing pictures, and I'm using my phone to take the pictures, which isn't the best. So hopefully I can improve that on the next video. Some of these pictures will have black bars on the side because when I try to resize it to fit without the black bars, you can't see some of the board, which is really important. And you miss like key models and key places, or yeah, not really key, but you don't get the whole picture. So I decided to leave the black bars in on those images. And finally, I don't have a full painted army or WYSIWYG. Funny story, right before this game, I played this game on a Friday. That Thursday, my two Tau commanders came in with the other 10 breachers I needed, which I'll go over in the list. So you'll see them. I had to build them, stay up late and build them. And then I put primer on them literally before this game, and I'll probably end up painting them either through the weekend or utilizing some downtime next week. So yeah, let's get into the mission. So today we are playing Battle Lines, was the mission that we decided we were going to play, or I think we rolled for. And Battle Lines is basically 4 objectives, and you'll see when we get to the images, you'll see the objectives. They're the big uh, objectives that cover all 3 inches, like the like matte objectives. So you'll kind of get that when we get to the terrain. And it's hold 1 for 5, hold 2 for 10 on the primary, and the mission secondary was really bad, so we didn't go over that. So okay, now I'm going to run us over kind of my army list, which you can see in this image here. So I'm bringing with me 2 detachments. So the first one is a Viorla Battalion detachment, and in this detachment I put the emergency dispensation stratagem, so I'm already down a CP, and I have a Cadre Fireblade with the Viorla Academy Luminaire Warlord trait, which basically his aura ability is extended to 9 inches, and it's +1 command points. I really just took it for the command points. As you know, the Cadre Fireblade, their aura ability, which gives Fire Warriors an extra shot, doesn't apply to Breachers, which sucks because Breachers are amazing. But I more brought him for the relic. I brought another Cadre Fireblade, which in the image you can see they're standing next to each other. One in the light blue cape, and then the other one is like a kit bashed Fire Warrior Breacher, and I threw like a Crisis suit shoulder pad on his arm, so he looks really tanky. He's right behind the Breacher, and he has paint on him, and a Kroot uh, gun hanging off his back. You can kind of see him behind one of the 2 primed commanders. And he has a marker drone, which is next to him, and he's just kind of an extra. They're both there for the marker lights to support the broadsides, basically. And then the 3rd HQ in this battalion detachment is a commander in Cold Star battle suit. He's the one with paint down at the bottom of the image, kind of pointing his gun off the table. And he has 4 fusion blasters and the relic crosslink stabilizer jets, which basically gives him reroll 1s to hit and reroll 1s to wound. For troops, you can kind of see them around. I have 2 squads of 9 breachers with 2 accompanying marker, or not 9, 10, excuse me, with a shot suite with 2 accompanying marker drones, so 2 squads of 10. And they're both riding in the Devilfish, and then I have a squad, and then I have two squads of 5, so a total of 30 breachers. I decided to try out the split squad. I didn't really like it. I might like it because then it makes targeting them off of objectives easier. And I'm gonna keep this list kind of the same, but it didn't really make a difference in this game. Also, um, just a side note, I brought 3 devilfish for them. However, you can see I only have 2. The third one was supposed to come in the mail, but because of the shipping delays with GW, I didn't get it. So I had to proxy in my long strike model, and he's in the bottom left corner, but he'll just be a devilfish. So I'd also like to apologize for that. And the final thing in this objective, and you can see them at the top, they're not all in frame. That's one of the things that I sacrificed to get rid of the dreaded bars on the side, are 3 units of 3 stealth suits. In this mission, didn't really utilize them the best. They were kind of one of the units I misplayed that didn't really do much, but absolutely love these. They're great for secondaries and board control and stuff like that. And I definitely don't want to take them out, so I have 9 stealth suits. Then I have a patrol detachment of Farsight Enclaves with 2 commanders with fusion blasters, and I paid for 1 promising pupil to make the commander. One of my commanders is doing the Heisman. He's the primed commander, furthest to the top. So he's kind of the closest one to the top of the picture in the broadsides. He's doing the Heisman. He's the one that can advance and shoot his assault weapons with no penalty. So he's kind of the one that I wanted to give mobility. And the Viola one can already do that because of their Sept trait, which lets them advance and shoot. So yeah, 5 breachers, which you can see at the top next to the broadsides, on the right of the broadsides. 5 breachers just to hold an objective. Daleth Grek, which is next to the Viola commander and the 2 Devilfish. He's great. He deep strikes in and basically gives me engage on all fronts. I might drop him, but I really liked him in the 8th edition when he was around, so I kind of brought him. 4 Vespids with a leader, so 3 Vespids with a strain leader, which you can see behind the Devilfish. They're great for deep striking in and Octarius data, basically, or Rod. Great. And then finally, 3 missile sides. So they have the high yield missile pods, the ATS to make them minus an extra AP, and then they have smart missile systems too, with 6 drones attached to them. And all the drones in my army are marker drones, except for the ones that pop off the Devilfish, which happen later, but I also don't have those painted, so I just played with my dead marker drones, so apologies for that too. My opponent's army today was the Premier Sisters of Battle competitive list. So, or like kind of one of the top tiers. So I was very scared seeing it. So he had 2 units of the 5 flying like fighty sisters. I think it's like Seraphim or something like that. And then he had 2 units with the hand flamers. And I'm gonna roughly, I don't super know his army super well. I wasn't able to get a picture of his list. He has the 2 beat sticks. He has Morinval or whatever her name is, and Celestine. He has the bodyguard units, so the Sacristans to basically do all the shenanigans with Celestine. 2 rhinos, 2 squads of like the sisters that shoot like basically storm bolters, 2 squads of the sisters that have a flamer, 2 flamers in each, and 2 multi-meltos. And then he brought 2 units of 8 Repentia, and the Sacristans have 9. And that matters because it kind of comes up because Daleth Grek has like a mine ability, not to spoil anything. And that was his army. For secondaries, he picked To the Last, which is Morinval, Celestine, and his Sacristans unit. Basically, if I don't kill those, he gets 15 points. He picked Engage on all fronts, and he picked Retrieve Octarius Data. And I picked Engage on all fronts, Retrieve Octarius Data, and Assassinate. I was going to go with something else, but he was a very nice opponent, and it's been a while since I played. Very helpful. And he basically said, yeah, take Assassinate. He has a ton of characters. Oh, he also, I forgot to mention, he has like the Sister Chaplain. He had a Canoness that didn't really do much in our game. It was kind of more for like taking away invulns, which I don't have a single invulnerable save in my army. She was kind of around. I think he had a another character, which was the ones that roll around with the Repentia. So he had like 3 characters. Celestine like counts as 9 assassinate points. Morinval is 3, so he had a ton of characters. So I decided to take that. So yeah, as we move on to the board, we can go over deployment. So my deployment, the board edge for battle lines, it's the long way. It's the hamburger style, is what I like to call it. Uh, Style deployment. So as you can see, the line being the end of that road right there, we measured it out, and uh, you can see kind of the line where the edge of it was. All the terrain on the table were ruins, so unless you were touching it, you can't see through it. It was obscuring. So that was super nice. So over on the right, I put a devilfish with the split squad of breachers, so the 2 squads of 5. And then I stacked my left flank because he stacked his right flank, which you'll see in the next picture. I put 2 devilfish there with the squads of 10. I put basically all my stealth suits there. I didn't really want to give them, because I didn't know who was going first, anything to charge turn 1. So I kind of tucked all my stealth suits back. I maybe could have played them differently, but who knows. In the ruin behind the broadsides, there are my squad of 5 breachers that are just going to walk out and stand on the objective to turn 1. Next to my broadsides on the left is my 2 commanders with fusion, and the advanced commander that's in the far side enclaves that can advance is over on the right. I kind of threw him over there just in case I needed him, but he can advance and shoot 40 inches. Same with the other painted commander. So I was like, okay. Um, Broadsides you can see are behind the building, and finally, my Vespid and Kroot character were in tactical reserves. So his deployment on the other side of the table, you can see I didn't take the best pictures early on. In the kind of middle, you see Morinval surrounded by, I believe, some of the shooty flying sisters. Um, he put all the other 15, so the other squad of shooting flying sisters that had like the 2 hand flamers and the pistols, along with the 2 fighty ones in tactical reserves, along with 1 squad of Repentia. As you can see, he stacked the right. He had his rhinos where he put the 2 squads of Stormbolter sisters and 2 squads of Melta Flamer sisters in them. And then up there, he put the Sacristans, and he's doing that bodyguard trick where basically I can't shoot Celestine while they're in that building. So I was like, okay, he's basically like got control of that objective because Celestine's all the way over there. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to completely counter deploy. All I got to do is move my broadsides up, blast him off his home objective while protecting my home objective and the one on the lower part of the battlefield. My broadsides can get line of sight and then just ignore the top one and just kind of fight on the bottom half of the board was kind of my rationale. And on my side of the board, he kind of did counter. We kind of deployed opposite each other in opposite corners. He put the character for that like rolls with the Repentia. I forgot what she does, but she's kind of under this bottom piece of terrain with 1 squad of 8 Repentia, and like I mentioned earlier, the other one Deep Struck. His Canoness is up there in the ruins with the Sacristans, and his Sister's Chaplain, I forgot what they're called, but it's basically a Sister's Chaplain, are all up there, kind of hiding in those ruins. So we roll off for turn 1, and I get it first. So this is kind of my movement phase. As you can see, funny enough, I didn't want to go first, and neither did he. But uh, it actually proved to be a very pivotal thing that actually would have benefited both of us to have the first turn. So as you can see, I kind of moved my Devilfish up and advance them because all the Viola stuff can advance and shoot their assault weapons without penalty. And they can, like, I don't think I have any rapid fire, but they could advance and shoot those 2 at a -1. Um, so I move my Devilfish in the bottom onto the bottom objective. And that's really good because even if they kill it, then 10 breachers come out with 2 drones. Just really kind of tough. I kind of move my second Devilfish up just to kind of support it. Maybe they somehow get onto that objective. He gets on there with some sisters. They can pop out and kind of clear the objectives. Breachers are amazing against sisters. And then I moved my top Devilfish over to kind of screen out his scary stuff. So all his scary stuff in the top left corner would have to get through that Devilfish and my stealth suits. On my home objective, I move out 5 guys and I do Octarius Data. Uh, in my devilfish, before my devilfish moved at the top, you can see it in the top right corner, there's a drone, and I did that for engage, so I'd have freedom to do engage on all fronts. And I also pop out my Cadre Fireblade. He's next to the broadsides, who moved up and touched this terrain. The bottom floor had a huge hole in that terrain, so I just went and put him in there. So now they can basically see through to that rhino on that objective. And I put one of my Farside Enclave commanders with them, and these broadsides are Farside Enclaves, so I can pop the reroll ones to wound strategy in my shooting phase. My other two commanders stood right next to each other, and they were going to go for that rhino kill. So yeah, moving on to shooting. During the shooting phase, this is kind of a picture of his board, or the board during the shooting phase. So my broadsides, or my two commanders with fusions, were able to blow up that rhino. He popped out with his two sister squads. I shot the Melta one with my broadsides. Two of my broadsides could see into that L-shaped ruin because of the windows. And I shot two of them, their high-yield missile pods, into the Melta squad, and I wiped that squad except for I think one person. And then the other broadside shot its high-yield missile pods at the flying sisters surrounding the character, and was able to wipe I think four of them, and the fifth one fled from around. And finally, I took my smart missile systems and this unit of Repentia kind of here on the left and just wiped them. I think for except one. So now it's just the sisters Repentia character kind of down in that left-hand corner, and one Repentia just kind of sitting there. That was my shooting phase. Really good shooting phase. I didn't think it was that great, but my opponent was pretty shaken by it. Got pretty panicked by how much I was able to wipe. So this is my opponent. Movement phase, so turn one for him. Oh, on my turn one, I scored one of the Octarius. I completed that action, and I got 2 points for engage on all fronts. So yeah, I'll put a score up at the end. During his movement phase, he felt a lot of pressure to make a move. Now that I had, sorry for that, my notebook fell off my lap. That I had made a move, so he decided to move Celestine and Mournval up, basically to put a lot of pressure on my kind of castle I got going on in the middle. So during the shooting phase, he popped a sister stratagem that 6s to hit, and he popped it on one of his squads that hopped out of the second rhino with the bolters, which I think is right behind Mournval. It's one of those two. And 6s to hit, do 2 mortal wounds, capped at 6, and he shot at my broadsides. Great way to get through drones. And did the 6 mortal wounds, kill the broadside because there's 6 wounds. And then the rest of his shooting kind of just killed drones, and I lost down to 2 drones. And that was basically all of his shooting. He didn't really get anything else in shooting. Yeah, but he moved up Celestine up top, the Sacristans behind. He really wanted to kind of move forward, really got aggressive. I would have, if I were him, would have liked to see him play more cagey, even after I shot all his stuff up pretty bad. But he decided that he wanted to make a play. So he pushes up, he charges, and this is kind of post-combat phase, charges the center with Celestine and Mournval, kills a commander, kills 3 of my stealth suits, and ties up my Viorlock commander, 3 stealth suits, and my Devilfish. If I were him, I definitely would have declared the second commander. I think he could have picked up both those commanders. Kind of tough situation there. The rest of his army is just kind of hanging out. So, yeah, his B6 kind of running in, putting a lot of pressure on me. During his first turn, I think he got 2 points for engage, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he had to have. 2 points for engage, and he started his Octarius data in the top left corner of the map, and he completed that. Yeah. So, my turn. Movement. Whoops. Okay, well, I guess the images are kind of messed up. I can see if I can fix that. But movement, basically, I fell back from Mournval and Celestine and shot them with... I popped out with my breachers from the 2 Devilfish during the movement phase in kind of this configuration, and basically kind of moved out, used the Viola stratagem to have these breachers on the closest to where Mournval was shoot twice, and they were able to kill Mournval. The other set of breachers, I spent a command point to help bring Mournval down. My broadsides, along with my two commanders, were able to wipe Celestine. And I moved my two devilfish back. So the devilfish that moved back to my home objective dispatched their drones to go stand by the broadsides, and so did my devilfish to on the bottom here, sent their drones up to go hang out with my broadsides. So shooting, we killed both characters. I moved my devilfish up just to kind of get those engage points better. I moved my breachers on my home objective over to the right side to do Octarius data again. So yeah, basically end of my turn. Oh yeah, and the commander who was engaged or stuck in combat, I popped Moncos so he could fall back and shoot with my stealth suits. So they fell back and kind of shot. I decided that this is a pretty pivotal turn. I needed everything. I decided instead of using my second commander to give the broadsides reroll to wounds, that I would need his shooting as well, and I turned out needing it, so it was a good call. Yeah, and then finally that third devilfish with the two units of 5 breachers, I kind of moved him back over to the top right corner. The reason I did that is because Celestine on a 2+ can stand up at full wounds and then basically bring back her two bodyguards. So I decided that I'm gonna use those breachers to kill her because I can get them to double shoot with Viola, which is a 2 command point CP that I use on Mournval. So in the next turn, I would use them as kind of a response to kill Celestine after Celestine comes back. But this is kind of a key swing point here and kind of what decided the game. He rolled that roll and he rolled a 1, so Celestine did not come back. So now at this point, I've scored 12 points for Assassinate. I killed Celestine, which is 9, and Mournval, which is 12, or another 3, so it's 12. And he now can only at max score 5 points onto the last, because those are 2 of his to the last characters. Huge pivotal moment. Kind of swung the game there very much in my favor. If Celestine had come back, he said he was planning on heroically intervening to these stealth suits up here where that little marker is that he was using to mark where Celestine was, heroically intervening into them, and then he was going to, on his turn, charge my broadsides and probably wipe them. I don't know if that's the best move. Broadsides kind of did what I brought them to do, and they're actually the one unit in this list I'm considered dropping, trading out for crisis suits. I wasn't really worried, and especially if he didn't touch my breachers, then I would have just used my breachers down at the bottom to kill Celestine, and I would have taken my breachers and the devilfishes, which is what I ended up doing, moving out and killing all of his Sacristans, but his bodyguards up top to deny him completely to the last. But yeah, huge turn, totally unfortunate for my opponent. Pretty brutal second turn. Also, at the beginning of that second turn, I was standing on 2 objectives. You can kind of see here, just kind of imagine the characters are still in the center, and he was only standing on 1, so I got 15. I scored 12, and I got my second Octarius data, as well as 2 more for engage. So very big points turn for me. We swing over to my opponent's turn 2, and the board starts like this for him. So he scores 5. He does his second Octarius data, I think, on the bottom of his objective there. So he now has received, I believe it's 4 victory points for it, and I've also received 4. Up top, his Sacristan go to stand on that top objective just to kind of make the secondaries easy. He drops his shooting sisters, you can see in the right corner, and fighty sword sisters in the bottom right corner of my objective to kind of make some moves on my backline. His Rhino moves up along with the rest of his sisters. His sister character, the fighty one that goes with the Repentia kind of in the bottom there, kind of moves out to charge my stealth suits, and everything else moves up, trying to make some moves. And also he has some flying sisters kind of on the middle objective now. These are the other fighty, or I guess he only deep struck 2 of the flying sisters, one with the swords and one with the pistols and flamers. The other ones were back in the back corner with his scary little Death Star. But they're now at the center objective. He's basically looking to make some charges. During his shooting phase, he does end up blowing this Devilfish down in the corner, up with his second squad of Meltas. He charges my one Preacher squad with his Rhino. He charges the Fighty Sisters up top. He charges them into stealth suits. In Overwatch, I kill two of his second squad of Fighty Flying Sisters who were in my backline who charged my broadsides. I'm able to kill three of them. And the five sisters in the bottom right-hand corner end up just shooting some drones, shooting them down a bit. So during this turn, he gets 5 because he stands on one objective. He gets 2 more engage points in the rod. So, yeah. Moving on to my turn 3, which is basically this board, which I start out with, and we can do movement. Yeah. So I score 10 for standing on 2 objectives. I decide, as you can see up top, to dismount my preachers, move them out to go on the upper objective to go contest and hopefully kill the the last unit. My broadsides fall back so I can shoot. Everything kind of falls back. My breachers in the bottom, the unpainted breachers, my third squad from my breacher platoon, which I have a lot of headcanon fluff about my breacher platoon. They kind of move over. Third squad goes to go and address those shooty sisters. The first squad, or no, second squad stays on the bottom right there with my 2 commanders because his sister character ended up charging the stealth suits and I think doing like 1 wound or no wounds, and she's in this center objective. So I decided just to play KG with my commanders, blow up this Rhino, kill that Repentia sister character right there. His other 2 sister characters are, I think, up right behind that ruin, where you can see the marker right in the top left corner. Also, you can see in the top left corner, I dropped my Vespid and my Kroot character down, and they perform my third Octarius data, and they also help me get 3 engage points. So I really start racking, stacking on these points. Excuse my voice. But yeah, that's my movement. I kind of fall back with everything. I use one of the Devilfish to block the center, just kind of not really let him walk towards my table quarter while I address the back line. And the only thing he has in reserves now, I have nothing, are the Repentia unit of 8. Yeah, so during the shooting phase, I wipe, as you can see, I wipe the Rhino on the bottom. I kill the character, so maxing out Assassinate. I use Daleth Grek's Trip Mine ability to do 3 mortal wounds on the Sacristans, and I double shoot. I use 1 command point to give the Preachers up top the full ability to basically the full ability to use their close range weapon, their close range profile, because it's only 5 inches, and I rolled a really bad advance roll, and I didn't get within 5 inches. They double shot. They wiped the Sacristan units up top. I wiped the Flying Sisters in the middle, close to my home objective. I killed them. I killed the sisters in the bottom with my second squad of breachers. I killed the rest of those sisters, and yeah, so kind of very big swing turn. So that was bottom of my turn 3. He had not played his turn 3 yet, and that's where we decided to call it. All he had left were those 2 squads of sisters in the middle. His Repentia in the middle, I completely lost track of the one that was left from the beginning. I think died somewhere in an Overwatch charge, I believe is how she died. All he had left were 2 characters, 1 squad of shooty sisters, 1 squad of Melta sisters, and actually one of the squads of Stormbolter sisters had 1 remaining from early on in the game. So he had like 3 of those units and 2 characters, and the Repentia who had not dropped in yet. Thankfully, I had somewhere to be, so we called it there. I was very thankful for him to call it. So the score, the end of the actual score of the game, the where we called it, I don't think we calculated up anything afterwards, but I had scored 35 on primary, 15 on assassinate, and I believe 7 on engage, and I think on Octarius I'd only scored, or I think it was, I forget how Octarius works, but I'd gotten 3 of my Octariuses. I was going to get my 4th anyways, so like I would have matched that, but I think I only got 4 or 6 points for it. So yeah, I was sitting pretty around like the 60 point mark. I think it's 61 is what I ended up calculating. Uh, he was at the, I believe he was at the 19 points because no, 18 because he had 5 for his 2 primaries. And this is counting his third turn. He had 5 for his 2 primaries, 4 for engage, 2 for rod. I don't think he would have gotten a third for rod. So he decided to call it there. It was like 18 to 61. Um, yeah, really good game, really great opponent, super nice guy. Uh, Definitely a big confidence booster for me to play a top sisters army. And it might not be like the super meta list, but definitely a hard hitting list. A lot of luck went in my favor, and we were talking about it afterwards. I definitely think he made a couple of mistakes that he kind of regretted. If he hadn't played Tau in like 2 editions or like an edition or something. I think he hadn't played Tau since 8th when they brought the Rip Riptides, so he wasn't really ready for uh he didn't really know what he was playing against. Unlike me, like every time I go to watch a battle report, there are sisters absolutely everywhere. So uh I kind of knew what his army did a little bit. He did a really good job of explaining it, whereas I was kind of struggling to explain my army because it was my first time taking this army out. But yeah, really liked the army. I was supposed to get a game in the day afterwards, which actually the day I'm recording this video with Death Guard, but they ended up canceling. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get you another battle report in a week or two. Really enjoyed playing it. Really great game. Really nice to kind of rack in the victory. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Um, like I said, every video I post hopefully will be a little bit better than the next. This is the first one. I have a cold. I'm working with like crappy editing software, and I think I kind of got my photos jumbled up when I was recording this. I'm kind of clicking through the slides separately with the video, and I think I kind of got those jumbled a bit. So hopefully you guys didn't get too lost in the sauce. But yeah, talk to you later. Peace.